So we left off where I was saying how Tasha and Dre had got Tasha's daughter into vocal lessons. So she had vocal lessons. So the reason why I bring that up is because the school that they were going to um, ended up like having like a concert or whatever, and she had a solo part. So whoever followed Tasha on Facebook, she ended up sharing the link to the school where they could watch her do her solo. And when I say when I seen it, she has a beautiful voice. I was even, because she seemed so shy and so timid, and it seemed like when she was on that stage, it was just like her comfort zone. But something I also noticed about her was that she was really sad, and you can hear it through her as she's singing. And I was like, damn, cause that was my reaction when I was watching the feed. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, she looks really sad, like, but she just looked like, the stage was her like comfort zone. So, I end up texting Tasha and I was like, oh my God, like she has a beautiful voice. She's doing so, I love the way like whoever's teaching her, like they got her vocals, like really, whoever's teaching her basically is doing a great job because if she starts now, imagine what she will be like when she's a teenager. And she was telling me how the vocal lessons like cost $100 or $150, and that's how they were paying for it. And then she goes into how during the pandemic, like I already knew because she told me that they had to defer their mortgage payments, and mind you, because Dre wasn't working, and then when he tried to go, I guess when he went back trying to work, he ended up quitting, and he wanted to start his own lawn business. And she was complaining about how him starting his own lawn business is really putting a lot of pressure on her because now all the money is basically coming from her, and she has to pay majority of the rent. I mean, majority of the bills by herself, because his lawn business is basically starting up, and he only had a couple of people that was paying for him to mow their lawn, basically. And then she went into telling me how Jessica ended up buying a second house, but she ended up having to sell her truck. And she says, and I, before, I used to think Junior was crazy or whatever about accusing Jessica of always, messing with her baby daddy. But now I can see why he always suspected it, because for her to finally close on that second house, her baby daddy ended up giving her the rest of the money. But then also, the house that she bought, the first house that she bought, she was letting him and I guess his girlfriend or baby mama rent out that house. So she was like saying like she kind of suspects for I guess they were messing around, or they are messing around, because she didn't understand how her baby daddy came out the pocket so much money to help her buy the second house. And I was like, what? So she was telling me how stupid Jessica was, because one of her brother is a realtor and the other one is a police officer. And she was saying how Jessica ended up taking out this loan off of her house and then just splurging on the new house, buying her another car. She was like, like that loan was really supposed to go into like fixing your house to put more value on the house. But she's like, Jessica was stupid for just spending it basically on herself and her whatever she needed instead of putting it into the house or whatever. So I was like, well, if she could do it, like, what's the problem? She's gonna have to pay it back anyways. So when she goes into that spiel about that, she then tells me like, Gideon's birthday is coming up, and did I want to come because she's throwing like a little birthday bash for her or whatever, because like this is like the second year of her passing away. And mind you, I already remember the last time, so I already knew, like, if I'm going, I'm not staying, 2, I'm not drinking, 3, I'm not taking, and I'm not eating anything there. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come over there and celebrate or whatever. So getting back to my household, I started noticing my son like really becoming more isolated. Like, he was already isolated, but now he's like really isolated, and then he's not even going to work around this time, and he was barely going to school. And I started noticing the same thing with my oldest daughter. Like, they were just like more isolated than usual. So I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, what's going on? I know they don't like school, and then, like I said, because my job was getting frustrating for me, and I would have to really be like on point with making sure I get my daily accounts done or whatever. I wouldn't really push the whole fact of them going to school all the time. But I noticed that my daughter was starting to miss more and more school than usual. And that kind of started to concern me. So I'm like, okay, what's going on or whatever. So I ended up, like, because we used to do these family meetings like every other month or monthly, just to let them know, like, okay, what's going on, what I'm planning to do, especially when I started thinking about when I decided that I need to look for another job. I wanted them to be aware, like, I still might be working at home, or I might have to go back to the office due to the fact, like, now all the bills are starting to accumulate again, and everything is starting to get high.